Rocket League.
Underdogs rise. Get ready for RLCS 2026.
We got a lot to talk about. Starting with what separates Rocket League from other games. Well, let's address the elephant in the room. Mechanics. No other game can translate its mechanics to Rocket League. Sure, you got your Need for Speeds, your Forzas, and your GTAs, but do those cars jump? Okay. Without a ramp? No. No, they don't. Do they boost? Alright, well, do they jump, fly, and flip? No. Checkmate, Chud. Rocket League cars are strapped with hydraulics to make them jump and big spinning wheels that make them flip, kind of like the ones that are on the inside of your controller. I'm just kidding, I made all that up, but they do have rockets, they jump, fly, and they flip. There's one more component none of those other games have. It's not cool car designs, it's not physics, it's a ball. A ball and a goal. Add a teammate or two. Hell, you don't even need another teammate. Add an opposing team or player, and boom, you got yourself a game. Just like soccer, you score to win and stop the opponent from scoring on you. But instead of yellow cards and red cards and slide tackles, you got bumps and demos.
A lot of players and a lot of people watching this might think, well, these demos aren't doing anything. That one obviously is.
A core part of the game. These core aspects of sports, with the fictional side of things, have created arguably one of the hardest mechanical games to ever exist, but we're not going to ignore the bigger, stinkier, fatter elephant, League. Yeah, that game's mechanics are also hard, and you can't translate them from any other game. But dude, what the f is this?
Make something happen. Haymaker does some work there. Cuz is the one to bear the brunt of it, but now Faker into the backline. Roach gets in there as well. Can he land it? No, he can't. Oh! As that's a huge knock up there from Showmaker. Gargoyle Stoneplate just not quite doing enough. As you can see, Teddy, gigantic shield, gigantic health bar, and he's now looking to try and chase down Damwon with not as many spells as they'd otherwise want. Look at all of these.
That brings me to the other thing that sets Rocket League apart. Show that clip I just showed you to anyone that's not a gamer. Not one person will be able to explain what they're seeing. Now show them a Rocket League clip, and you already know what they're going to say. Comment down below what their response is going to be. First off, this is my first ever YouTube video, so thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more Rocket League to come, where I talk about my Worlds trips, upcoming major trips, predictions, and more Rocket League content to come. So what would they say? You're right, car soccer, or football depending on where you are from in the world, is the most watched and played sport in the world. This household sport with the twist in a game is what I believe to be the gateway into the game and the esport. Rocket League just got a new boost in popularity thanks to the greatest lawnmower to ever do it, Jinxie. The second most popular streamer behind The Peanut. Jinxie had been asking his chat what game he should play after he left Siege's Dumpster Fire, and he decided to go to another dumpster fire, Clash Royale. But the game got a boost in popularity, and the best players in the world were brought to the mainstream when playing with Jinxie. Then, the worst updates to ever hit the game had dropped. No one asked for level 60. The boost of popularity followed him to Rocket League, as the concurrent number of 1 million players hasn't been seen since the boogeyman of COVID in 2020. Rocket League even made a tweet about it. Just like Clash Royale, he began playing with the big figures in the community, such as Musty and Tenacity. Among his preparations for the infamous 1v1 100 goals between him and Musty, which we won't talk about, Jynxzi began getting coaching and introduced the esports scene when he received his coaching from former professionals Squishy Muffins and AlphaKep, and current professional for Gen G Mobile, Justin. The same way as Clash Royale as for Rocket League, both the casual and competitive communities were brought to the front of the content world. He also recently started watching some of the Boston Open for RLCS.
In that mind game, it's open for Jack.
Fake into like a right wall pass to across map, ceiling pass as well.
I mean, that is
Bro, oh my god.
best, but just
Prime Barca shit.
always happen.
This is where I get giddy, like a kid who wants a big ass lollipop and is only gonna finish half of it, and I'm probably gonna fall asleep with it, and all that slobber is gonna take up the most surface area possible and stick to the side of my face. But want that lollipop. I love RLCS. It's the hardest mechanical game that's easy to comprehend. As someone who's been into competitive games, this really scratched my itch. I joined in the Prime days a lot of you will never get to experience. John Sandman crate videos, Riz and Sizz duo videos, as well as trading. Bring it back, Epic. Seeing Rizzo and Sizz mess around while attempting shots that Sizz does absolutely not have in his bag, while John Sandman only needs one more black market in the last 3 crates that he has to win the crate battle, absolutely peak. I wanted to be like Riz and Sizz, flying through the air, attempting crazy shots, opening crates, searching for that titanium white octane, or a black market. So that itch, it got scratched. By diving into Rizzo and Sizz videos and learning their involvement in RLCS, I became a G2 fan. Rip G2. Rip. I started watching RLCS, buying into the G2 Nation, getting more invested into the game and the esport and the team. And then Squishy Muffins came, and it was crazy to see how he changed the game being played at the highest level. And oh, EU has this guy named Alpha 54, and oh, Australia has this guy on keyboard and mouse named Torsauce. I began getting more invested into the players, branching out from G2. I started following the players and their roster changes and becoming a fan of those players and their teams as a result. We can't forget about the most iconic RLCS moment that overflowed its way from the esport into the casual community with Justin's 0-second goal.
Being held back now by the Panda, puts it straight out. It's going to be over to Kana. It's almost in, but scored.
The shot unanswered from Kana. All season long, he's had support from Turbo. And he won't let up now. 4 seconds left.
Words can't express the feeling in this moment. In his rookie season, the World Championship run on the line, representing North America, time stopped, and the craziest 0-second goal to force a Game 7 in Grand Finals was hit.
On a shot, Justin! This is Rocket League!
Then they went on to lose Game 7, but that's besides the point. This moment is set in stone forever in Rocket League history. Jynxzi watched this clip and introduced it to a whole other community who has likely never seen it before. Enter a new final boss from Normandy, France, introducing Zen, arguably one of the best pro players in the scene right now. His rookie season, he won every event and even Worlds. Remember that 100 goal 1v1 between Musty and Jynxzi? Well, it's Zen's turn. And we don't have to talk about that one either. But anyway, they play some twos, and no one expected a Zen and Jynxzi collab. But let me tell ya, it was cinema.
Yo!
I missed.
He missed! Oh!
Then entered the other French dog, the Peppa Steppa, the head of the blue wall, Vataria. Vati joins Zen and Jynxzi for some threes on EU servers, and let me tell you, If you thought you saw cinema before, this was just as good.
That was good.
That was a good touch, bro. Okay, mid, bro.
Yeah, mid.
Okay, mid Jinxie.
I got him.
Jinxie, you're touching your dick.
So you're asking, where am I going with this? Well, nowhere really. I'm just talking about how the game's challenging mechanically and it sets itself apart from other games, but it also just got a revival from the man Junko himself. Take a look at this. This is former pro Alpha Kep turned streamer and watch party host.
Miro with that 50 ball! Miro! Miro! Miro!
My main go-to for watch parties, but there's plenty other content creators out there for you, even the mainstream if you don't want. Some of the content creators are signed to orgs, so if you're a fan of those orgs, they watch those teams all the time. But if you're just looking to catch some of the best matches in RLCS, I recommend Alpha Kep. Kep, if you're watching this, timeout pro gamer. Let me show you this, for instance. In the Raleigh Major, Dignitas played Team Falcons for the finals, and the crowd was electric.
Dorian, great first touch. Has the reset. Dizzy's harassing TRK. Oh, Dorian again! The second clip of the game to keep Dignitas alive! Are you kidding me?
They were so loud, they were overtaking the casters at times. Not only are these regionals fun to watch, but these watch parties are insane, and these LANs are even better. But that's just where it begins. Okay, I did have somewhere I was going with this. That's just the beginning of what the game has to offer. These are my clips from the 2025 World Championship in Lyon, France. Oh my god, was it amazing. Not only seeing Paris and being out of the country for the first time, insane, but being by myself. Some of you that might not be too crazy, but on the other side of the planet, for a week, by myself, in another country, pretty nerve-wracking to me, to say the least. But I planned to go with a friend in November, and things fell through, and I ended up looking and seeing that Worlds was 2 months prior in September, and that was only 11 days. So I said, let's do it. Let me just say, I'm grateful and lucky enough to have been able to do that, but I had 11 days to plan for the trip, and I had to add a 4-hour train ride to go see Worlds in Lyon. If you guys want to see more about that, I got an upcoming video I'm planning to make about the whole trip and how I did everything, so stick around for that. What an absolutely unreal, breathtaking, chill-inducing experience, to say the least. There's only one other feeling I can use to compare this. Have you guys ever taken a shit and felt 10 to 15 pounds lighter, like you can run a marathon right after, and it's a ghost wipe? Master Oogway once said, "Takes 2 wipes to know if you've been blessed, but it takes 1 wipe to know if it will be an eternity." That's what an RLCS LAN is like. At least if your team wins. Saw quite a few people that left the stadium and were out chilling in the halls and didn't come back after K-Corp got eliminated. Shopify Rebellion was my team at World, but they got knocked out before I got to go. After that, I just wanted a North American team to win, but how I was saying before, I'm a fan of players. Remember the Peppa Steppa? He's argued to be a potential GOAT of Rocket League, but needs a world championship to solidify that spot. His team was in top 4 of Worlds. With the event being in France, a large part of the community thought that this was their time. This would be the French Dog's world title in his home country. Unfortunately, they lost 4-2. And with the favorites out, everyone thought that Falcons would win. But with the vengeance, just shy of history, losing to Team BDS in the grand finals last season, NRG was hungry for that title and said that this was their time. From North America, my first time out of the country, my first RLCS LAN event, NRG brought it home for North America. The atmosphere was the cake, the Rocket League was the icing, and NRG taking it home was the sprinkles on top. And this cake would make Gordon Ramsay wet, to say the least. Couldn't agree more, chef. Although I don't speak a lick of French and I know there's the bare basics, I still felt welcome in a part of the community. During one of the intermissions, a French caster came out and was speaking only French, and I didn't understand any of it, and he was pointing to the sections and saying names, and everyone was cheering, and I was a little confused, so leaned over and I nudged the Frenchman to my right, and I said, "Hey, you speak any English?" He said, "A little." So I asked him, "Hey, what's this guy saying?" And he looked at me and he said, "Okay, well, he's talking about these guys, the blue wall." And he was designating these sections of the people at the LAN event to the players of the blue wall, and anytime that he was saying their name for the rest of the time of him speaking, that section would cheer. He was open and willing to explain in his non-native language to me what was going on, and I feel like this would happen anywhere at any Rocket League event. I'm not saying fly out of the country and go see a LAN event on the other side of the planet. Although it would be good for you to go out and experience what life has to offer, and I'll show you how I pinched pennies and did it pretty cheap on Paris, but that's beside the point. I know shit's expensive and harder than ever nowadays, but a 2-day pass to a LAN event is just under $80 if you just want to view the Jumbotron. For some of you there with a little bit more schmeckles, there's some better seats for you for higher prices, but for those just looking to go, $80 isn't too bad. If you are interested in seeing an RLCS LAN event, be sure to pay attention to the Worlds. Last year's Worlds, they announced this year's events, so this year should have next year's. Anyway, pay attention to those locations. If you can drive and stay in an Airbnb and pinch pennies like I'll show you how to, you can make those short trips for cheap. For those who are into Rocket League, you'll enjoy it and have a good time. For those who are into Rocket League and RLCS, you'll have an elevating experience, to say the least, regardless of your seat or the result. If you can't do that, don't worry. The watch parties are still electric and from the comfort of your own home. Plus, that's how you're going to watch most of the regionals anyway. They're always online. They're not in person, so that's how you're going to watch them anyway. This game's different. I'm telling you guys. The upcoming or already past, depending on when I get this out, Boston Major is in Boston, Massachusetts, February 19th to the 22nd. What can I say? I'm a busy man. I got a job. I've never done this before. I coach travel and high school baseball, so I'm pretty busy. But who am I? I'm Ricky. I'm Ricky Two Toes. I've been playing this game off and on occasionally since 2015, early 2016. Took a long break until summer of 2019. Focused on baseball and eventually went to play in college. And when I got sent in summer of 2019 to Florida to go play for a league down there, a teammate of mine told us that he was playing Rocket League. And that piqued my interest because I hadn't remember playing it before. So I was like, hey, let me hop back on. Sucked butt at the time, but hey, it was still fun hopping back on. He was plat, and like I said, I sucked, so what he was doing was blowing my mind, and I fell in love with the game, and that's when I began my grind. A lot of people have a lot of hours on this game. I have just a little over 1,800 between Steam, Epic, PS4, and PS5. I've peaked at a MMR of 1220, so just Champ 1, nothing too crazy. But I got the experience and enough knowledge to inform new players what they can do to help improve. So for those of you who just started and getting into it, it can be like putting icy hot on your balls. Some people dive down the YouTube rabbit hole and discover packs and training tips. Some newbies just want to play and have fun with their friends. Regardless, the game's fun comes from the ability to control your car and the ball, hitting crazy shots with your friends, making absolutely electric moments. These are my two friends, Braden, who is high gold and low plat, and Bobby, who just started playing the game. I had been grinding with Braden for about 200 hours for the past year and a half off and on, and we just convinced Bobby to get it. And he's addicted. Messaging our group chat saying how he was fiending for Rocket League, but he's a natural to say the least, and not a lot of people are naturals like Bobby seems to be. Hearing from Braden that he was hitting the ball very well on day one, I was shocked. Braden was a slow roller, but he got the hang of it, and I've had my proud coaching moments with him. But one too many times, Bobby comes flying out of nowhere, and we realized it was time for some crash course on rotations.
We're red team and we have ball possession. This guy's got ball. This is me. This is you. That's Braden right here in the back, controlling the back. Ideally, you're going to want to be in this direction right here, somewhere behind me.
While us more experienced players love this game, we love getting our knowledge out to our friends and making what's special about this game more accessible to everyone. I got these two knuckleheads into a custom and started getting that work in, because you will not get better unless you put that time in training, just like every other skill in life.
If you realize the hood of your car is too far forward, or too far up in the air,
I'll keep you guys updated on these two. The next point I wanted to make is some of us gamers don't watch sports. I played a sport at a college level and still didn't and still don't watch sports. But especially now that gambling is a thing, everything just feels so rigged. So save your money, don't gamble it. I promise. It's a better idea. But it just wasn't my thing. I like going to the stadium or the arena and seeing a baseball game or a hockey game, but that's about it. But RLCS feels like my sports. The keeping up with the teams, following the players, live and in-person events. It's all the same stuff that major sports has with a sports mechanic in a video game format. Seasons, events, championships, teams and organizations, players streamed and in person, plays, replays, crowds, cheering. If you've gotten that itch since watching the start of this video or have been thinking about going before, I promise this'll scratch your itch. There's so much more to this game than it's just a game. Now's the time to get into Rocket League. If you're getting into it, check out the content creators for more content and ideas of how to progress your skill and have more fun than you currently are. If you already play Rocket League, I highly recommend getting in some of those watch parties, whether the mainstream, Alpha Kep, or Squishy. If you're already into RLCS, now's your time to look for the closest LAN event and elevate your RLCS experience. You could be at any one of these steps and enjoy each other from the other. Now's your time to get into it. I'm Ricky Two Toes. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, what 2 toes do I have left? Hit all those buttons that are important down below. And one more important thing, Rocket League, I love you.
Street